James, you talked before about helping assist with the camp in Atlanta. Another report's come out that Penn State will also be represented, I think, in Florida. Are there any other places you guys are looking to maybe assist with the camp, or is it just pretty much those two for now?
Yeah, it hasn't been announced. You guys will probably hear next week. We will be holding a camp in every state this summer. We're going to do 50 states. But no, right now just kind of what we had planned. Our thought was, again, the Big Ten and NCAA rules allow you to do these things, and we wanted to not only have camps on our campus, which we're going to have a bunch of them, but also be able to maybe take the Penn State brand and be able to take it to a part of the country that maybe young men and families wouldn't be able to make it to our place, take it to them. And I'm fired up about it. It seems like the high school coaches are as well. And like I said to you guys, I think from day one that we were going to recruit regionally and take a lot of pride in recruiting regionally, but we were also going to have a presence nationally. We're going to go wherever we have to go to find players. And we're going to read the rules, and we're going to understand the rules, and we're going to, like you guys have heard me say before, it's not like we're going to lack for enthusiasm, and we're going to lack for work ethic. We'll go wherever we got to go. One year I went and did a camp in Anchorage, Alaska. When I was at Idaho State, we did a camp for all the city schools in Anchorage. So I'm not sure if we'll be doing that one this summer, but we're excited about the ones we're doing. I love camps. A lot of coaches don't. I love them. I love getting out and working with young people and talking to parents and selling Penn State and our brand. So I'm fired up about it. I'd have 35 camps this summer if I could. The coaching staff, they want to make sure we have time with families and our wives and our kids and all that kind of stuff, and be able to get away. But I think we ought to. I think our trip to Georgia, that should be family vacation. We should all go down there, bring your families, and do the camp, and then enjoy Atlanta, and then the one in Orlando. That's why we're doing it in Orlando. You can go to what is it, Disneyland? You go to Disney, Disney World. Yeah. Every year we do studies. We do studies on where the talent is coming from. Division I scholarship athletes. We do studies on the draft. We do studies on measurables. So every year I do a study on what's the average hand size at the NFL Combine of a wide receiver. For each position we do that. Arm length, all these things, because I'm trying to kind of understand
what works.
Yeah, what works and why certain guys are successful or not. And then obviously your own history. Why have some guys been successful and other guys haven't? So you're always trying to study and try to find some things. I think if you look in general, you just studying numbers. I think if you look at Texas, California, and Florida, I think you're talking about somewhere between 250 plus up to 350 Division I athletes a year. You look at Pennsylvania, for example. I think we're on average around 35 Division I football players a year. So just numbers alone. I think the most important thing is getting the right ones. I've been a lot of places too where you say, if you could just find the best players that ended up going to 1AA and being 1AA All-Americans, you can make a heck of a team off of those guys. I looked at Bloomsburg. I think Bloomsburg had a couple guys drafted. So I think the most important thing is finding the right guys. And then I think the other thing is where those places become valuable as well that we just discussed is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. So if you drive an hour in either direction, how many Division I players are you going to see? So go into places, like Florida and Texas and Georgia or California and places like that. You're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. The hard part, though, and you guys have heard me mention this before, you're always going to do the best job recruiting in your footprint. So 6 hours from campus, those kids we're going to have the best opportunity to develop relationships with. We're going to know those kids the best. We're going to know their high school coaches. We're going to know people in their community. We're going to be able to, get them on campus multiple times and be able to talk to them face to face and look them in the eye and those types of things. But if there's not enough talent in that area to fill out the entire roster, we got to be willing to go wherever that may be to find him. You guys have heard Sean Spencer. He's been politicking since the day he arrived to get Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Hawaii in his recruiting territory. I don't know if that's going to happen again, but we're always studying. Just like
you're talking about Penn State's footprint and a recruiting standpoint, being in Pennsylvania, and how unique is that for you as a recruiter? Whereas Alabama's footprint involves Auburn being right there. I mean, Penn State doesn't really have the same kind of regional competition, maybe on the same level. I mean, is that different when you're dealing with a larger area where maybe you're the biggest name on that block?
I think that's one of the things that made Penn State unique for so long. There's very few programs and universities in this part of the country that are similar from a football perspective. When you're talking about history and traditions, you're talking about stadium size, you're talking about support, talking about all those types of things, it makes us unique and makes us different. We talk about going and recruiting other areas. I think just as important of that is making sure that the players within 6 hours aren't leaving, because we've seen that. We've seen programs that are coming and plucking a kid here or there from around the country, and that's important. And if you look when Penn State was rolling, they were able to keep the best players in the state home as well as the surrounding states. And like always, people write articles and misinterpret things, but the point that we made last week is that we're going to treat New Jersey as in-state in our approach, in the manpower and the resources that we're going to put in recruiting the state, as well as Delaware, as well as Maryland and D.C. and Northern Virginia. We're going to treat those areas as if they're in-state as well. I think that's very, very important. And if you can keep the best players in this region and at Penn State wearing the blue and white, you got a chance.